Welcome to the MLMsuccess.com podcast, the show designed to return the network marketing industry to its roots of personal growth, leadership development, and wisdom of the ages success principles. We share with you real success stories from real people that we hope will inspire and encourage you personally and help you progress forward in your business and your life. We believe if you build people, people will build the business. Now here is your host, who has been called the number one mind in network marketing, the MLM Prophet, network marketing virtual mentor, and a host of other names that we will not mention because this is a family show. Frankly, he's just a small town guy that figured out that the real product in network marketing is people. Dale Calvert.
Hey, this is Dale Calvert. I hope you guys are doing good. I'd like to welcome you to this week's session of the MLMsuccess.com podcast. Excited to have you guys with me. I hope you've had an awesome week. Please continue to send in your emails, your voice messages. If you have any questions at all, guys, again, I'm dependent on this. Appreciate those of you that are sending your messages. You go over to MLMhelp.com, top left-hand corner. It says Ask Dale, and you can record your message right online, and I've been responding to those. My goal is every 3 days at least I check those and respond and get back with you. Some of you I'll end up maybe using the question on the podcast. So I appreciate your input, your feedback always. Again, moving forward with network marketing support services, I'm going to depend upon your feedback, your input more than I ever have. And I'll just tell you that. And I really need it, guys. I sincerely need it. With that said, I want to thank Casey Ray. Casey's in Indiana for the email that he sent. I'm going to share it with you, and then we're going to talk about it. And I said he, it might be a she. Could be Casey Ray, she. I don't really remember if they identified themselves. But let's just read it and we'll talk about it. It says, Hi Dale, my name's Casey Ray. I'm originally from one state over from you. I grew up in Indiana. I've been involved in network marketing for 23 years with a total of 2 companies. That's good. That's a really good sign is what I'm thinking. Only 2 companies in 23 years, so definitely not a junkie. During the pandemic, I started going through podcasts to see if there was a network marketing guru who had actually been in the field and actually done what they are teaching. Good luck with that. She said, a week ago, I discovered the interview John Milton Fogg did with you at the bottom of the podcast page on your MLM Help website. Yeah, we do. I'm going off script here or off the email here, but that particular interview John Milton Fogg did with me is you go to MLMhelp.com/podcast and you scroll down and towards the bottom of the page, you can click and actually listen right online. It was, I think, the 3rd session we ever did on the No Fluff Network Marketing Podcast, the one with John Milton Fogg. So let me get back to Casey's email here. She said, Dale, I'm thinking maybe it's a she now. He or she said, Dale, I experienced a paradigm shift like I have never had in my entire life when I heard that interview. For the last week, I've been binging on your podcast and YouTube videos. The thought I've had over and over is, what if I had the opportunity to get plugged into your systems and thoughts when I first started in the profession? Where would I be now? And then she's got bolded here. What if everyone in every network marketing company could put their ego to the side, eliminate their transferable skills, remove all fear from their team, and replace it with desire and self-belief, and just focus on developing the 5 core systems you teach for their opportunity in their product? A system to launch new people, a system for gaining customers with a referral component, a 2-step play 1, play 2 recruiting process, a retention system. Once those systems are in place, it would just come down to creating as many leads as possible to ensure that you enroll your 3 to 5 new people a month, and everyone could control their financial destiny in this profession. That's true. It has suddenly become so clear and simple for me, but the question is, how can I create this paradigm shift on my team and for my upline? I remember this now. Casey went on to say, I've gotten nothing but resistance. I just got off the phone with my top upline leader, and that's why I'm sending you this email. She said, I know, Dale, his ego doesn't play well with others. When I started quizzing her about if she had ever heard you speak live or on your podcast, she hadn't. Come to find out, you had said something on a YouTube video about thumb suckers years ago, and she got offended. I don't know what that means or why, but whatever. After I got off the phone with her, my total respect and understanding about her shifted instantly. I will always love her as a person, but my respect for her as a leader will never be the same. I understand why after 16 years in the company, she is stuck around $150,000 a year and works constantly to keep her team engaged and excited. I get why I am on her 4th level, but the number one money earner in her entire team, I made $72,000 last year. I've had the shift. I see it clearly. I guess I'm Calverted and will never be able to go back to a state of blindly following my upline. Where do I go from here? Casey. Wow. I remember reading this, but this is what they told me my podcast was on this week, and I had it printed in front of me. I wish I had read this a little bit before I started, but man, this is good stuff. Let's just go back to the highlighted part here, and let's just, all of us listen, Casey included. I'm going to talk to Casey, but everybody hopefully can listen in on this, and hopefully it's going to make some sense. Because honestly, she hit the nail, he hit the nail, Casey Ray hit the nail right on the head. What if everyone in network marketing, in every network marketing company, could put their ego to the side? Okay. Network marketing in general is full of a lot of people that are trying to prove the kids they went to high school were wrong about them. There's a lot of ego in every home business niche. There is more in network marketing than any other niche. But there's also more solid, value-focused people in this profession than any other niche I've ever seen. So it's kind of interesting. We have the worst egos in network marketing, but we also have the very best value-focused people. So we have both in this profession. In the general home business niches, there is more total ego than there is in network marketing. It's not as bad as it is in network marketing, but it's there. I hope that makes sense. So network marketing, we got the yin and the yang. All the other niches that I've seen, been involved with, communicated with, there's more ego, but it's not as severe as it is in network marketing. And sometimes the severe egos kind of overtake. The reality is there's more value-focused, phenomenal, honest, loving people in network marketing than any other niche I've ever been involved with, any other business model I've ever been involved with. And sometimes that's overlooked. So that's ego. Well, what did she, let me go back. I want to find out what she said about my ego. She said, I know Dale, his ego doesn't play well with others. And I'll tell you how I translate that, and this is what I know it to be. People that lack confidence have trouble with people that do. And many people cannot distinguish the difference, especially those that have no confidence, cannot distinguish between those that have confidence and those that have ego. Confidence should only come from one thing and one thing only: track record. If you have confidence and no track record, that equals ego. That's my definition of that. So it doesn't bother me. I've heard that before. Also, people think they see me on stage and they think that I have this high energy, flamboyant personality, and the truth is I'm a total introvert. I am. I'm just an introvert. I'd rather be kept to myself. The only reason I get flamboyant from time to time, maybe on a podcast or when I'm speaking in front of a group, is because I have a huge sense of obligation to the people that are listening, because your time is the most valuable asset that you have, and I don't want to waste it. So that's where all that comes from. I know you didn't need an explanation if you've been listening to this podcast very long at all, but for those of you that haven't, I thought, well, I'll just throw that in since we're on the subject of ego. So where was I? What if everyone in network marketing, in every network marketing company, put their ego aside? It could be done. It absolutely could be done. The only way it can be done is when people understand together everyone achieves more. Together everyone achieves more. And when everyone understands, it's not about getting your bill passed through Congress. It's about what is best for everybody within the United States. I'm going to say that again. It's not a riddle, but it's you see this play out. Again, Congress is the clearest example that I can think of at this point. But people get tied into their input instead of focusing on what is going to be the best for everybody involved within our company, what makes the most sense for everybody, not just the top leaders' checks, but for everybody, what makes the most sense to the most people. And a lot of times, ego does not allow people to make those decisions. We see that again. Congress is a great example, because I got my bill passed. I set this up, and my bill that I wrote was passed in Congress, blah, 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 blah. They tie ego to the Congress, the bill that they've sent through Congress, instead of what is the best interest for all people within the United States. And when you start making decisions based upon special interest instead of the masses, there's always going to be conflict and problems. And again, that's just the nature of the beast. That's what it is. So again, let's just assume for a minute everybody could put their ego aside and say, okay, what is best for everybody involved? Okay, then Casey goes on to say, what if they put their ego aside, eliminate their transferable skills? That's a thought-provoking thought. What if, because if you look at the 3%ers, you look at the top leaders in most companies, and you look at their background and their history, most of them came to the profession with transferable skills. Some of them developed those transferable skills. Some of them were just God-given talent, skills, abilities, insights, culture in which they were raised. that they came with, those that developed transferable skills, more power to them. They spent the time, they spent the effort, they read the books, they listened to the audios, they identified the mentors, and they developed the wisdom of the ages mindsets that can be transferable, not just in business, but in any aspect of life. But what if they could eliminate their transferable skills and just start at, everybody start the same place, which is a good thought, because if you're relying on your transferable skills, then it's hard for you to put yourself in the 27%ers' shoes where the majority of your great future leaders are going to live. So I understand that. That's a deep thought, but it's good. Really good. What if they could eliminate their transferable skills, remove all, this is the most important sentence in this paragraph, remove all fear from their team and replace it with desire and self-belief? What if you could, that is so strong, what if you could remove all fear from their team and replace it with desire and self-belief? Theoretically, that would be phenomenal. Reality, you would end up with an unteachable, uncoachable, ego-driven 3%er. You take away fear and you put in desire and self-belief. That's kind of the definition of a 3%er, not a 27%er. What makes powerful leaders are 27%ers that have to create reasons and desires and dreams, and also improve their own self-image and vision of what they can achieve. So you take somebody that's, and I'll just say normal, which is not a good description, but it's the easiest word that I can think of right now. But you take someone that has normal fear of failure, fear of rejection, fight, flight, or freeze DNA when they're in an uncomfortable situation they've never been in. And you help them restructure their self-talk and rethink their way through the process and understand you're going to hear a lot more no's than you're ever going to hear yeses, and a lot of the concepts and mindsets that need to be developed. And you help somebody that has normal DNA, fight, flight, or freeze, and you help them grow beyond that and develop their self-image beyond that. Then you have somebody that can really help other people because they've been in their shoes. When people enter this profession and they've never lived in those 27%ers' shoes, and they never, they just had the confidence from the time they were a kid or whatever the situation is, then the best thing that we could do is to help them try to enter this profession with their transferable skills eliminated. So I get what you're saying, and that's true. And then if we could remove all fear from their team and replace it with a desire and self-belief, that's true. See, because without the right mindsets, the desire and self-belief, nothing's going to happen. We build people, and then people build the business. That's correct. That's it. But how much time do people spend on really solid personal development systems and programs? They might mention it, but it does about as much good as reading a motivational meme on Facebook. It might give you a little glimpse of confidence for a few minutes, but if people don't reprogram their minds, then they're going to perform as they always have. what the mind can conceive and believe. You have to believe. If you don't believe, then you cannot achieve. So that's why Amway back in the days, part of their distributor kit was the Magic of Thinking Big book to start the development of that foundation. Somebody sent me a clip, and what's the guy's name? Dan Locke. Some guy's just throwing every guru under the bus. 95% of them need to be thrown under the bus. I can't remember his name. He's doing some kind of YouTube show, and man, he was just blistering this Locke guy. And I don't know anything about him. I sincerely don't. But he was just blistering him. But if what he was saying was true, he needed to be blistered because he was bringing people in, and he had this guy that lost $5,000 or $6,000 in about 90 days going through this guy's training systems. He invested $250, and then he invested, or $2,000, and then he invested $5,000 or whatever. It was crazy. And he's saying, all these gurus, the first thing they do is they try to get inside your head and try to tell you got to change the way you think. Well, you know what? That's true. That's 1,000% true. Now, Dan Locke, or whatever he's Dan, he might be a scumbag. And if what I saw is true, then the guy is a scumbag. Just milking as many people out as much money as they possibly can, making false promises about the jobs that they're going to have because they're trained by him and his system. And again, a lot of you probably know a lot more about them than I do. My point is, it is true. You're going to have to reprogram your mind. Now, you don't need to spend $7,000 with somebody that hasn't done nothing for you that they promised in the last 90 days. You don't have to do that. But you're going to have to reprogram your mind. And the problem with all, I think the name of the show was like Fake Gurus. The problem with all is 80% of what they say is right. It's true. And then you got this guy that was doing the interview, who's anti-business, anti-business, probably, all about college and professors and higher education and knows nothing about self-education. And what does he do? He throws everybody in the same boat. And if anybody, so it gets to the point where if anybody's talking about reprogramming your mind or getting control of your self-talk, then therefore, because they're talking about mindsets, that means they're a fake guru or they're a con man or they're trying to milk people out of money, which is just not always the case. And most of the time, maybe it is more today than it's ever been in history. But, it's the same thing Glenn Turner got. One of the reasons they got Glenn Turner in trouble back in the Coscott days. It's just been, history just repeats itself over and over, but with each repetition, it gets more skewed. But let me continue with Casey's email here. Eliminate transferable skills, remove all fear from their team, and replace it with desire and self-belief, and just focusing on developing the 5 core systems you teach for their opportunity to market their opportunity and their product. Once those systems are in place, it would just come down to creating as many new leads as possible to ensure they enroll their 3 to 5 new people a month, and everyone could control their financial destiny in this profession. True. Here's what I want to say. That is the culture to be created on your team. I mean, in one paragraph, Casey shared exactly the standards that you must have on your team and the culture that must be created in your team. And as I've said 1,000 times, I feel like every leader in network marketing has the choice, and that is to aspire greatness or cater to mediocrity, one or the other. Most people, most leaders, we call them leaders, air quotes as I say that, in this profession, cater to mediocrity. Their whole focus is to keep people excited, engaged, and on auto ship one more month. Real leaders develop other leaders. So let me because I just thought this was phenomenal when first time I read it, and it's like, man. And then you got, the upline. Well, I'm not, Dale Calvert said, what did Dale Calvert say? Dale Calvert called somebody a thumbsucker, so his ego doesn't play well with others. Unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable. And what's going to happen to people like that is very predictable. It's predictable. And I'm seeing it and hearing about it more and more all the time. Maybe because people have the guts to speak out now. I don't really know. But, she said, or he said, Casey, send me an email. Let me know if you're a man or a woman. Sorry, I'm just Casey Ray. Casey Ray hit it, and they said, what did they say? Let me say, I've had a shift. I see it clearly. I guess I'm Calvert now. I'll never be able to go back to a state of blindly following my upline. Where do I go from here? No, that's not what I wanted. They said, what did they say? They said, I got off the phone with her. My total respect and understanding about her shifted instantly. And so she can blame me for that. I will always love her as a person, but my respect for her as a leader will never be the same. And see, on a grander scale, that's exactly the reason why the network marketing business model has dropped in sales in the United States the last 3 years in a row. Because you got all this foo-foo dust and all this stuff and all this going on where people repel wisdom in an attempt to preserve their ego, and they repel wisdom in an attempt to preserve their ego. They find something to be offended about when they're confronted with wisdom. They find something to be offended about. So, again, Casey Ray gave you the blueprint of the culture that needs to be created in network marketing. And it's not easy. It's extremely difficult because most people are in the great American box. Most people have the mentality, at first I don't succeed, fix the blame quick. That's the world in which we live. You're looking for the right people at the right time in their life who are sick and tired of being sick and tired, who are career frustrated, who understand the importance of finding the right mentorship, as we talked about in the last week or two, and who are willing to get plugged in and expand their comfort zone and go to work. So I'm going to give it to you one more time. What if everyone in network marketing, let's just say, what if everyone on your team can put their ego aside, eliminate their transferable skills? Another way to say this is understand that transferable skills are never going to duplicate throughout a network marketing organization because everybody enters at different times, place, different skill sets, mindsets when they enter. So transferable skills, if you depend upon transferable skills to build your business, it can never duplicate. So they eliminate the transferable skills, remove all fear from their teams, and replace it with a desire and self-belief within their team members. So what is that saying? That's saying that we have to work harder on building people and go back to the personal development foundations on which this profession was created. Network marketing is a personal development program with a compensation plan attached. Most people are worrying too much about tricks, tips, funnels, all these marketing methods, how to close somebody, than they are understanding that people must act in accordance to their program. They must act, they must perform in accordance to their program. The way to increase performance is increasing our self-image, our programming about what is possible for us. Replace it with desire and self-belief, and just focus on developing the 5 core systems you teach for their opportunity and product. That's it, guys. That's all you have to get good at. You have to refine and master and get good at those 5 core fundamentals. And just because you know what they are does not mean you have mastered them. It's mastery. It's mastery. Those of you that are in the training club, you see the special webinar we put in there. I can't remember the guy's name right now, but we have a special webinar that he did just on mastery. Training club members, you've seen that. It's mastery. It's mastering how to help a new person launch their business, mastering the retail to recruit program with a referral component, a play 1, play 2 recruiting process, retention system, and then it just comes down to lead generation. People try to just focus on lead generation. They have none of the other systems in place. How would that ever duplicate? So, guys, I hope this has helped you, giving you something to think about. Several weeks ago, I said, now is a great time during all this corona stuff going on to really refine and master your core fundamentals for your team. Your launch process, 2-step recruiting process, retail to recruit process with a referral system in place, a retention system, so on and so forth. I've talked about it. You've got to refine it. This is simple, guys. It is so simple. Once you really get a clear picture of what you're doing, where you're going, how you're going to get there, and what's not going to take you there. Burping and diapering people and high-fiving them and calling them a rock star when them and everybody around them know they haven't done diddly, they haven't even sponsored their mama yet, is not the way to build a productive, growing, strong organization of people. It's a great way to build a social club. It's a great way to build a social club. So, yes, network marketers, what if, as Casey said, what if? What if this could happen? What would happen? What would happen? Yes, it would 10 times everybody's income in a year. If we could get people, if not just by removing all obstacles, but removing all obstacles and replacing them with the right skill sets and mindsets. Where a person, boom, go in the marketplace, no fear, and have the right skill sets, mindsets to develop their 3 to 5 people a year, or recruit their 3 to 5 new people, customer/team members every single month, and grow and control their own financial destiny. They can grow. Everybody under them can grow because it's unified, it's duplicatable, and it works, and there's no fears involved in the process. Because we've removed fear, because we've replaced negative programming with the right programming. It's just, and that's what happened. A lot of you go back and you look at Confessions of a Network Marketing Millionaire, and you see that, and you see those people, and you see how well trained they were, and how productive they were, and the type of incomes they were making, and the amount of promotions that were happening. And you say, well, how did it happen? I've been sharing it on these podcasts, guys. We're probably going on 4 or 5 years at this point. It's not that difficult, but it is difficult when somebody gives you strong, proven wisdom of the ages, concepts, and ideas, and you choose to be offended because they said something about somebody sucking somebody's thumb. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Casey Ray, thank you so much. I look forward to meeting you. Thank you so much. Yes, well, what if network marketers could just eliminate all the stuff that doesn't matter, focus in on what does matter, master it, and teach it to other people that have strong self-confidence, great attitudes, and tremendous work ethics. The profession would change the world. It would change the world. You guys have a great week. I'll talk to you next week on another session of the MLMsuccess.com podcast.
If you haven't gone over to iTunes yet and rated and left this podcast a review, what are you waiting for? At Calvert Marketing Group, we want to spend our time on the projects that we know are providing the most value for our clients and customers. You leaving us a review and feedback on iTunes is something that helps us more than you realize. And more importantly, it helps others like you find us. So if you've not taken the time to rate this podcast, please go over to iTunes and do that for us now. It will only take a couple of minutes out of your busy schedule. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and we will be back next week with another inspiring success story, wisdom of the ages training, or answers to your questions.